Next up on the Cosmic News Network, First Contact with Joshua Pert.
Good morning, Earthlings. Good. How you doing today? Good. How you doing today? Welcome to First Contact Radio. Welcome to First Contact Radio. To talk about all these things I'm talking about is because in life, everything is energy. Every single thing that's out there.
Yo, it's First Contact with Joshua Poet. He's the man on the mic, just in case you didn't know it. Covering news from all around the globe, from the weather and space to UFOs. He'll talk politics and make you open your eyes. Conspiracy theories and government lies. He'll dig it all up and try to find the proof. Cause it's time to demand the truth. It's time.
First Contact Radio. We have
time to demand the truth. It's time.
First Contact Radio. We have
time to demand the truth. It's time.
First Contact Radio.
It's time to demand the truth.
Radio. Good morning, Earthlings. How you doing today? Welcome to the show. We've made it to the end of the week. Let us see what it is we have to deal with today. Okay, right here, we're at the 30th of the month. So we've come to the end of the month. When we get together next time, it will be a brand new month. 30th. Okay, so we know our sun sign is Virgo, which is an earth sign. Earth sign, remember, is about practicality. The reason it's about practicality is this. You've got the elements of the fire, the water, the air. These elements all come together to create the earth. Now, even before the fire, you have what's called the Ein Sof, or the no thing, the spirit that goes down. So you've got spirit, fire, water, air, earth, all of these elements. And the spirit, the fire, the water, the air, they go in, they create the earth. Well, the reason you have to be practical is when you're down here in the earth, you're at the other end of the extreme. You're not at the highest level of the energy, you're at the lowest level. And therefore, at that string, at that position, you have to be practical about how you bring all those energies down into the physical form. Because as you remember, the physical form is a combination of all of those energies mixed together in some sort of a way. So the practical use of them, put them together so they make a form that is usable down here on Earth. Okay, that's the Earth sign. And the moon sign today, we're between two signs, so it's a void of course moon. Void of course moon until, well, we're there right now. Okay, 6:33 a.m. Pacific time, so we've just passed over into that not too long ago. So we're now into Cancer, okay? So it's feelings, emotions, water. So we've got water underneath the subconscious. On the outside, we've got earth. Now, how do water and earth work together? Just think of some examples in your life. You can have water can work really nice with the earth. An island can float on the water. Or the water could overwhelm the earth and sink the earth. Okay, and there's all kind of in between those two extremes, but that's the basic idea. So we want to learn to work with these energies in a nice balanced way. We have here an aspect of a triangle between Neptune and the moon, and then we also have between Saturn and the moon. So both of these triangles or aspects means that there's a good energy vibe between them. So between our feelings, we are going to have to be dealing with something of a disciplinarian nature here, learning how to maybe discipline our feelings, collect them together so they don't go so crazy. Here, taking a new perspective on things, using our feelings to gain insight into things that are going on around us, maybe ability to look at things a little differently. Alright, the current moon phase, 29% of the way full, making its way down to the new moon. Mayan Oracle, we're at a 4-tone day here in the wave spell of the warrior. Okay, it's called the blue self-existing storm. 4 tones are the self-existing tones. The phrase for today is I define in order to catalyze measuring energy. I seal the matrix of self-generation with the self-existing tone of form. I am guided by the power of vision. Spaceweather.com, solar wind 398.4 kilometers per second. Planetary K index 2. Coronal holes, we could see a number of them throughout the course of the sun here. Big ones, small ones. Remember, they spew solar wind out into the cosmos, and sometimes that wind hits the planet, and sometimes it doesn't. Just depends on the direction it's going. Geomagnetic storm activity, well, M-class and X-class flares are down to 1%. No worries there. Geomagnetic storm activity is up. Look at this, the high latitudes, 65% that there's going to be some sort of activity, okay? That's due to all of this going on here. The solar wind coming off, the coronal mass ejections, alright, all of those things cause those type of activities in the sky. Here's the suspicious observer report for today.
Good morning, folks. Latest drought look here, showing decreased drought status out west where it was worse. This is due to northward moisture flow from a couple different tropical systems. Got a great before and after show from NASA's Earth Observatory using Landsat 8. Crack down the mountain is visible the whole way, and afterwards you see the debris field and rock newly exposed to the atmosphere. Started the evening news with this last night, and I'll also repeat the recommendation to check out the article in the rest of this video. Got a mega canyon beneath the Greenland ice sheet. The top story from last night was buried behind beautiful Chandra images of Sagittarius A. A Harvard scientist has observed and identified a mechanism for black hole rejection of matter. Less than 1% of captured material comes anywhere close to what those experts call a black hole. 99% is lost to outflow, we might consider a name change. These pointy protrusions here are said to be evidence of the outflow. Significant tropical development has begun off the African coastline. We'll watch as they come west. Counterclockwise driving cloud system encountering the northwest coastline of the Americas. Longtime viewers recognize the power low south of Alaska trying to hold tight for as long as possible. Meanwhile, another low in the north-central states is converging air drawn up the leading east edge and cooler, drier air from the north for our severe watch zone tonight. Europe has two zones to watch, the convergence cresting the northern areas and the heat-based pop-up storms near the Mediterranean. Will be the story with high pressure sticking over the continent. In case you can't tell from the movement here, high pressure also remains over Australia, with the low pressure cells forced to keep the dangerous weather to the south. Wallaroo took it bad, I hear. Magnetometers are quiet across the planet and KP is low, but might not be when you look. 4 days ago, a big coronal hole faced Earth, setting its speedy stream our way, catching up to slower solar wind particles out ahead of it and bunching them up for a front-leading density spike. Confirmed by SOHO, we should expect a major speed ramp all day today. That hole wraps around the solar polar north region, while the next coronal hole enters just south of the solar equator. The size is small and ISWA magnetic connectivity show a fairly weak outward magnetic force. But either way, with it headed in to face Earth, the coronal hole solar wind stream hitting us now, our law of average is still way below normal quake levels for weeks on end. The watch hovers around 5 or 6 from last night. Perhaps you noticed that eruption on the northeastern quadrant. This came from the active region turning in on the north, where a backside umbral fracture leaves us with a triple negative sunspot group. It's where Venus magnetically connects to the Sun, has remained for 24 hours after being highly erratic for a few days. The flare produced was a C8, which is not a major X-ray event, but significant enough to produce a large CME. Watch a filament dive into the solar surface before the eruption and resulting Hyder flare. Soho Lasco C3 is missing frames as usual, but I believe you can still see a halo eruption. Stereo B demonstrating the power of this blast. I do believe it will give Earth a small to medium impact. Shots of our star to close. Eyes open. No fear. It's 6:45 a.m. Eastern Time, and that's the news. Be safe, everyone.
Alrighty. Very good. Thank you, suspicious observers. Alright, so this week, Pleiades, Pleiadians played a lot of messages. Primarily the one I've played is stuff from Barbara Marciniak, as she is one of the experts that is out there that has been channeling the Pleiadians for some time. There's certainly there are others, but her works are certainly out there, you know, in a great amount of books that she's written and everything like that. So this is Bringers of the Dawn. I believe I started off the beginning of the week playing a portion from this. I'm going to play another portion, and this has a whole playlist attached to it, so you can keep following all the rest of them if you want. If you haven't read any of these books, do so. As you can tell that there's a lot of great information here, and it's well worth your time reading. All right, so let me get over to this one here. This is part 2 of Bringers of the Dawn.
During Earth's early history, there were wars in space for ownership of this planet. Skirmishes took place, and Earth became a place of duality. Certain creator gods who had the right to do whatever they wanted, because Earth is a free will zone, came in and took over. When this skirmish occurred, a certain group of entities fought in space and won the territory of Earth. These new owners did not want the native Earth species, the humans, to be informed of what took place. Uninformed, the species would be easier to control. That is why light is information and darkness is lack of information. These entities beat out light, and Earth became their territory. These new owners who came here 300,000 years ago are the magnificent beings spoken of in your Bible, in the Babylonian and Sumerian tablets, and in texts all over the world. They came to Earth and rearranged the native human species. They rearranged your DNA in order to have you broadcast within a certain limited frequency band whose frequency could feed them and keep them in power. The original human was a magnificent being whose 12 strands of DNA were contributed by a variety of sentient civilizations. When the new owners came in, they worked in their laboratories and created versions of humans with a different DNA. The 2-stranded double helix DNA. The original DNA pattern was left within the human cells, yet it was not functional. It was split apart, unplugged. Within human cells are light-encoded filaments, fine gossamer threads of energy that carry information. When these gossamer threads are working together like a cable, the way fiber optics works, they form the helix of your DNA. When you were rearranged, you were left with the double helix. Anything that was unnecessary for survival and that would keep you informed was unplugged, leaving you with only a double helix that would lock you into controllable, operable frequencies. We, as Pleiadians, came back through time into what would perhaps be called our past, in the vestige of representatives of light. We came back in order to share a frequency with you, a frequency that each one of you has agreed to carry on this planet in order to change the DNA of the rearranged human race. The plan to change the frequency modulation affecting the human species entails the rebundling of your DNA and of the light-encoded filaments. Earth is assisting, in its own way, the evolution of the universe. It is where the plan begins to blossom, and what happens on Earth is going to affect many, many worlds. Your DNA will evolve from 2 helixes to 12 helixes. These 12 helixes correspond to energy centers or chakras inside and outside of your body. This process is an incredible evolutionary leap for one to be involved in, and it is going to take place on an accelerated path for the next 20 years. There are those who have already received a realignment of the 12 strands of DNA, the 12 helixes. These 12 spiral strands of DNA interact with one another in the body and outside of the body. The connection of the 12 strands means that the 12 energy or information centers can begin to function and send information back and forth to one another. When human DNA begins to rebundle as a 12-stranded helix system and this information is acted upon, there will be incredible power. Individuals, simply by coming together and jointly intending what they want, jointly becoming a telepathic receptacle for energies from all over the cosmos, will change the face of the universe. There will be a merging of identities, a merging of cultures, an infusion of many new world orders, and there will be much chaos and confusion. As members of the family of light, you can simply observe this, knowing that chaos and confusion must come to break down the system so that it can be rebuilt with light. As members of the family of light, you can understand that there is an evolutionary process taking place, and that those who can handle the changing frequencies by all means will evolve. There are many misconceptions about the idea of godhood. The universes are full of intelligent beings who have, over time, evolved and developed all sorts of capabilities and functions to serve their needs to express themselves creatively. The importance behind existence and consciousness is creativity, and creativity takes many forms. Eons ago, Earth was but a thought in the mind of great beings who had set before themselves the task of creating new forms of existence. Many of these beings affected the creation of this universe, and you have termed them God. In actuality, they were extraterrestrial, light-bearing energies far removed from Prime Creator. We rarely use the term God with a big G. If we were to use that term, we would be referring to the entity we know as Prime Creator. Prime Creator, in its own personal implosion through love, endowed all things with consciousness. All things are Prime Creator on Prime Creator's journey. The evolution of consciousness and the ability to house information is what allows one to come into the proximity of Prime Creator. Many people on Earth have felt that they have merged with God. They may have merged with a portion of Prime Creator that best suited their vibration at the time. The total vibration of Prime Creator would destroy the physical vehicle in an instant, because it cannot house that much information. Those that represent God to you are but a minute portion of Prime Creator. The Creator gods who have been ruling this planet have the ability to become physical, though mostly they exist in other dimensions. They keep Earth in a certain vibrational frequency while they create emotional trauma to nourish themselves. There are some beings who honor life before everything else, and there are also beings who do not honor life and do not understand their connection to it. The Creator gods are space beings who have their own home in space. They are also evolving. Before the takeover, about 300,000 years ago, many of the original team worked here to bring information and create this vast information center that was to be used to connect many galactic systems. Then there was a great war among the Creator gods, and the space beings, whose stories are in the ancient manuscripts of this planet, won the fight. They came here because they wanted this place for many of their own reasons. In Prime Creator's universe here, all things are allowed. Because all things are allowed, many lessons are learned. Who are these beings who came in and rent asunder the original plans for Earth? Who are these space beings we sometimes refer to as the dark T-shirts? These space beings are part human and part reptilian. We call them the Lizzies because we like to make things a little less emotional and a little humorous so that you don't take them so seriously and get so upset. We are not here to frighten you. We are here to inform you. Some Creator gods created life just to have it take care of them or meet their needs. They have fed off your emotions. One of the big secrets that has been kept from you as a species is the richness and wealth that accompanies emotion. You have been steered away from exploring emotion because through emotion you can figure things out. Your emotions connect you with the spiritual body. The spiritual body, of course, is non-physical. existing on the multidimensional sphere. Within the Lizzie population, there are those who are benevolent and those who are malevolent. Why are we telling you all this? Why do you need to know it? You need to know it because the Lizzie reality is re-entering and merging with your dimension. You must make...
All right. Good stuff, huh? So that's the rest of the book's available. Check it out on your own and listen to it over the course of the weekend. It's good stuff. If you like the information there, you'll like the rest of what's in the book. All right, UFO News is up next.
This is the UFO News with Joshua Poet.
All right, Dirk, thank you very much. Today, 4 stories. Story number 1 comes to us from Derby, England. This is a close-up look of a sighting. It looks like this here. We've seen this, the light bouncing around. I have to admit, at first when I was looking at this video, I thought it was a plane. But when I got a closer look at the object, I realized it was a UFO. So I took the screenshot, altered its contrast to see its detail better. As you can see in the above photos, this is a metallic round UFO that even changes shapes. Very odd. But Derby has been in world news this year and UFOs over its neighborhood. This is it, baby. This is the alien craft trolling the hood. Nice catch. Someone should really take this video and add contrast to it so we can see the craft better. Alright. There you go, number 1. Next we have a UFO falls over Georgia sky. Margaret Pfeiffer was outside her house on August 21st, videotaping the aftermath of what she claimed were a lightning strike on her property when she suddenly noticed a very bright object in the sky heading quickly downward in an angle. According to Open Minds TV, in one of her YouTube postings, Pfeiffer mentions that she lives in west central Georgia, and no other details were given. Alright, there's our object in question. Alright. There you go. That was the sighting that was there. She said she captured this after the fire from across the street. Say what you will, but this is no wings as the plane would have. Watch it in full screen. Keep pausing. There isn't even a shadow on the wing area. Alright. Next we go to an article here. Says an ET, and this is by Ed Komarick over at UFO Digest. ET explains why they stay hidden. It's a question that a lot of people ask. I still come across some really good cases that deserve to be in my book, UFO Politics and the New World Disorder. I copied these 2 cases from an unedited book manuscript written by Gary Oppett. The first case not only shows high-level extraterrestrial contact in the UK military, but also presents a very good explanation of the advanced extraterrestrial perspective directly from human ET. It reminds me of Frank Strange's book, The Stranger at the Pentagon. I find myself confronted frequently by the uninformed who ask, why don't the ETs, if they exist, come forward? Why do they hide? Well, the second case presented confirms what I was told by a local contact person who had contact with what have been termed Nordics. I was told that these human ETs were collecting plants in my local area, especially vegetables and fruits. He said if they could taste a fruit from another planet and later was allowed to taste. He asked if he could taste a fruit from another planet and later was allowed to taste. I can't emphasize enough the importance of becoming involved with contact people in one's local area and having experiences oneself. This kind of personal direct experience allows the investigator a further check on written cases and additional source information to compare with other sources in literature. It's easy to be led astray in the field if one relies on a single source material to reach conclusions. In 1954, Air Marshal Sir Peter Horsley, Deputy Commander-in-Chief of the Strike Command, was invited by General Martin to attend a meeting with Mr. Janis. Mr. Janis asked Mr. Peter Horsley for details of investigations and UFO sightings reported by RAF pilots. That Sir Peter Horsley was in receipt of Air Marshal Horsley compiled on giving the information known to him, received an unusual reply. Mr. Janis detailed the UFO situation, in which he stated that the UFO movements around the planet were only a thin trickle into the vast highways of the universe. The Earth, after all, is a galactic backwater inhabited by only half-civilized men, dangerous and even their neighbors. Most of the vehicles are robot-controlled space probes monitoring what is going on. Some are manned in order to oversee the whole program and ensure the probes do not land or crash by accident. They must always ensure the evidence of their existence is kept away from the vast majority of Earth's population. Since time immemorial, there have been tales of vessels coming out of the sky bringing strange visitors. Observers do come among you and make contact on very selective basis where they judge that such contact could not harm either party. These observers have studied Earth for a long time with advanced medical science. They have been fitted out with the right sort of eternal equipment to allow their bodies to operate normally until they leave. It is not very difficult to obtain the right sort of clothes and means to move about quite freely. The observers are not interested in interfering in your affairs, but once they are able to escape from our own solar system, of its paramount importance that you have learned your responsibilities for the preservation of life everywhere. While you are still far away from traveling in deep space, such contacts will be infrequent and must be conducted with great secrecy. The observers have highly developed mental powers, including extrasensory thought, reading, hypnosis, and the ability to use different dimensions. Well, there's a lot more to this article. Pretty interesting. Keeps getting interesting as you go along. And last thing I want to show you, UFO news related today, or at least during this segment. This is a website, the National UFO Reporting Center. If you haven't been to this site, well, check it out. This is the place to go if you experience a UFO. They got a hotline right here. If you call, the gentleman will answer and give the report to him. And you could see they have online report forms. You got their database if you want to check out other sites. You got click here, the most up-to-date reports. You could see how many there are on each particular time. 639 during July, 592 the month before that, and so on. So you can go and you can look through. So a lot of great information here. Okay, so I wanted to bring that to your attention. That is our UFO news for today. We've got a bunch more news. I'll be right back.
What if our government was responsible for some of the greatest crimes against this nation? Would you really want to know? These are big questions, but these questions deserve answers. It's time to demand the truth.
People shouldn't be afraid of their governments. Governments should be afraid.
All right. So we're going to look at some things that, more pieces to the puzzle. Okay. We've heard about the police state going on. It's a reality. It's not, I'm not telling you this to scare you. We have to be real about what's going on in the world so we understand what it is we have to deal with. Unfortunately, there are situations in the world that we're going to have to deal with. Well, humankind is freaking out right now. Freaking out because that's what happens if you don't have a real solid base of God in your life. Okay, that prime creator energy. If you don't understand that, well, that's what you get caught up. You get caught up in a world of fear, and that's what's going on out there. So, this first story, police state related, 2 SWAT teams shut down a neighborhood in Colorado. In February 2013, 2 SWAT teams were deployed to an entire neighborhood in Fort Collins, Colorado, which was shut down for 4 hours to search for a man suspected of stealing a bicycle and a grocery cart full of merchandise from Walmart. A sheriff's deputy on the scene said the SWAT teams were searching for a robbery suspect who had been tracked to the area. The suspect tried to steal a shopping cart filled with tools and a bike from Walmart early the day. He had fought with staff members and fled to a car with the other suspects inside. Police reviewed surveillance video and recognized the man police say has a criminal history. In conclusion, no suspect was apprehended during the 4 hours of SWAT teams terrorizing the neighborhood. However, they did manage to capture a large dog by securing it in a Humane Society van. Okay, so in this case, my friends, who were the terrorists? That's right, the terrorists were the SWAT team that went in there and shut down a neighborhood for 4 hours because somebody stole something from Walmart? Really? See, common sense has just gone out the window. anyone with any sense at all knows you don't have to shut down neighborhoods, but the police state is alive and well, my friends. Now here's another thing, Facebook. Okay, you've heard a couple of things about Facebook, about postings that are going up or being monitored. We've heard that for a long time. Now we're seeing that credit ratings are being affected. Recently I read you the article, the fraternity that had been suspended for their postings. Well, here's something else. Facebook users could be added to facial recognition program. Facebook Inc. is considering incorporating most of its 1 billion plus member profile photos into its growing facial recognition database, expanding the scope of the social network's controversial technology. The possible move, which Facebook revealed in an update to its data use policy on Thursday, is intended to improve the performance of its Tag Suggest feature. The feature uses facial recognition technology to speed up the process of labeling or tagging friends and acquaintances who appear in photos posted on the network. The technology currently automatically identifies faces in the newly uploaded photos by comparing them only with previous snapshots in which users were tagged. Facebook users can choose to remove the tags identifying them in posts by others on the site. It says the facial recognition software, however, is not available to Canadian Facebook users. Alright, so those of you on Facebook, do you recall giving them permission to put your pictures and your information to facial recognition? I don't remember giving that permission either. But there's a lot of things that we haven't given permission to that they're doing. So, just another sign that someone is watching. Big Brother's going crazy out there. Alright, so the world is changing. The world is definitely changing. Things are happening. Prophecies are being fulfilled. And here is something that took place in Rome. I don't know if you've seen this story or not, but look at this. This suddenly appeared in Rome, not too far from the Vatican. Nice little hole in the ground. Pops up and it seems to be spewing something out. Now, at first you may think this is a harmless little hole, but you can find stories of volcanoes that have started this way and months later were much larger because as things kept spewing out, they kept growing larger and larger. So what lies beneath Rome? Don't know, but something is bubbling up. Alright, moving on. This also deals with Rome. Pope's decree about to cause mass resignations. Alright, this message was sent to a friend of ours, to Heather, which then forwarded to me. My question, who else is going to do a runner before September 1st? Shall we be taking any bets? Ben Bernanke announced he is resigning the Federal Reserve effective September 1st. One of the Federal Reserve governors has resigned effective September 1st. Janet Napolitano, Homeland Security, has resigned effective September 1st. The Most Holy Francis issued an apostolic letter on July 11th and effective September 1st, 2013, that effectively strips away all immunity of all judges, attorneys, government officials, and all entities established under the Roman Curia. Hint, all corporations are established under the Roman Curia. All of the persons can now be held accountable for war crimes, crimes against humanity, for unlawful restrictions of the liberties of the divine spirit incarnate, for failure to settle the accounts, for continued prosecution of claims already settled, etc. Got a direct link to the Vatican website here. Let me read a little bit of this to you. It says, on the jurisdiction of judicial authorities of Vatican City State in criminal matters. In our times, the common good is increasingly threatened by the transnational organized crime, the improper use of the markets and of the economy, as well as by terrorism. It is therefore necessary for the international community to adopt adequate legal instruments to prevent and counter criminal activities by promoting international judicial cooperation on criminal matters, in ratifying numerous international conventions in these areas, and acting also on the behalf of Vatican City State. The Holy See has constantly maintained that such agreements are effective means to prevent criminal activities that threaten human dignity, the common good, and peace. with a view to renewing the Apostolic See's commitment to cooperate to these ends. By means of this apostolic letter issued motu priori, I established that one, the competent judicial authorities of Vatican City-State shall also exercise penal jurisdiction over a. crimes committed against the security, the fundamental interest, or the patrimony of the Holy See; b. crimes referred to in Vatican City Law number 8 of July 11, 2013, containing supplementary norms on criminal law matters; in Vatican City State Law number EC of 11, containing amendments to the Criminal Code and the Vatican Procedural Code, when any such crimes are committed by the persons referred in this paragraph 3 in the exercise of their functions; and c. any crime whose prosecution is required by an international agreement ratified by the Holy See, if the perpetrator is physically present in the territory of the Vatican City State and has not been extradited. You can go on. You can see there's more to this here. The last line says, I decide to establish anything to the contrary notwithstanding. I established this apostolic letter issued motu priori and will be promulgated by its publication in La Observatore Romano, entering into force on September 1st, 2013, given in Rome at the Apostolic Palace on the 11th of July, 2013, the first of my pontificate. So, something's going on. This Pope seems to be up to, he's dealing with stuff, it seems that. He's laying down the law, and, you know, it's good to see this because there have been a lot of problems and things, so we'll see where it all goes. But again, strange that we have all of these things coinciding on the 1st of September. Now, as you know, or maybe you don't know, there's war on the horizon. We have our leaders, which seem to be pushing for a war, the military leaders. The Obama administration, well, he said he wasn't going to bomb, but usually when he says he's not going to do something, usually he does the opposite. So we'll see if this is one of those things. Apparently he's going to be addressing the nation today at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, so we'll listen to what he has to say. Nonetheless, people around the world are rallying against this, standing up against any sort of war. So here is something that is planned for tomorrow. You might want to check out. Flash mob of protests. No war with Syria rallies are planned in over 70 cities for Saturday, the 31st. A new campaign has been started to help coordinate worldwide protests against the acceleration of the war in Syria by the corporate military-industrial complex. Protests are already planned in over 70 cities worldwide for Saturday, August 31st. It's almost like a flash mob version of the global anti-war protest. One of the co-founders of the March Against Monsanto, Nick Burnaby, is the leading organizer of the rallies, and his experience may just be what is needed to help mobilize people quickly. Wednesday, Burnaby discussed the viral reach of the campaign to date on the Adam vs. the Man show. He described the open source nature of the protest by saying, "We're just trying to help get this thing viral," noting that we're leaving the structure of the protests up to the local leaders. One advantage of the alternative media can wield is the timely use of social media to counter false media narratives, and the March Against Monsanto co-founder has already done that once. The March Against Monsanto brought over 2 million people to the streets of 52 countries. That organic movement broke through the mainstream media barriers, including forcing CNN to at least acknowledge that the protests happened and there was some controversy over GM food. So if you go through this article here, how you can get involved, you want to go and you want to click the Facebook links here. You want to go there and sign up at their page. Gives you all the details here. Plan of action. Go to the Facebook search bar and search for No War with Syria Rally and then your city. And or you can click on this link here with all of these events. Alright, and then you follow down here, and here's a list of cities where things are going on. You can just click there and it'll take you right to the Facebook page so you can join up. Alright, so something very good, man. People are standing up. People are waking up. I think it is happening. It seems to be. So that's a good thing. That is a good thing. Alright, we're going to turn our attention now to NASA. We've heard of, you all heard of Star Trek, the warp drives. Well, here's something that might become a reality. Warp drives, or hyperspace drives, or any other term for them, faster than light travel, is at the level of speculation, with some facets edging into the realm of science. We are at the point where we know what we do know, and we know what we don't, but we do not know for sure if faster than light travel is possible. The bad news is that the bulk of scientific knowledge that we have accumulated to date concludes that faster than light is impossible. This is the artifact of Einstein's special relativity, theory of relativity. Yes, there are some other perspectives: tachyons, wormholes, inflationary universe, space-time warping, quantum paradoxes, ideas that are incredible scientific literature, but it is still too soon to know if such ideas are viable. One such issue that is evoked by the faster-than-light transport is time paradoxes, causing violations and implications of time travel. As if faster-than-light issue wasn't tough enough, it is possible to construct elaborate scenarios where faster-than-light travel results in time travel. Time travel is considered far more impossible than light travel. Alright? A lot more to the article. Again, I'm going to leave that to you because there's some other things I want to attend to here. Okay. Comet Ison. We're going to turn our attention to Comet Ison here. And I want you to... We're going to put together a puzzle. I'm going to give you some pieces to this puzzle, and you're going to be able to put this together. See what you think. So we've got Comet Ison. We've been told, and I've played information for you that shows images of Ison, that shows images of Ison similar to images of Nibiru that were taken back, what was it, in the 70s, and was in some of the documentaries NASA was talking about. We have been tracking this object that's coming into the solar system. Right around October 1st, it's going to be passing by Mars. It's supposed to be passing by Mars. Then it's going to come around. It's going to make a loop around the sun and head back out the way it came. The time when it's supposed to be coming around the sun is sometime in November, towards the end of November. If you recall, a couple weeks before that, they're doing the testing on the grid. Here, I read that story the other day. The link's available at the website. So, those are some of the updates of what's going on. In January, we're supposed to be crossing possibly through the tail, which speculation of what is in the tail is out. And right now, the speculation is cyanide gas, but there's no real proof of that yet, just speculation. Anyway, I want to show you this piece here. This is an image that was taken, and I'm just going to zip up to here. If you recall, NASA put this out, and people wondered what was so bright, and then they started taking away this using filters, and this is what they came up with. This image that looks like this, right? Well, there was all the debate saying, oh no, this is an effect of this thing called parallax, which is a condition of the way the satellite takes the pictures and the curvature of this and that and yada yada yada, and this is why it's like that. Well, then right away people started questioning, well, if that's the case, why don't we see more objects that are like this? That doesn't make sense at all. So it's then been found that back in this documentary I was telling you about, and you know, stuff I was showing you last week, showing that there's this image looks like a similar image to Nibiru that was taken of Nibiru. Okay, so something's going on out there. So this is that image, right? Now, what I want to show you is another image, and this image here is an image that is supposed to be from a satellite called Tianlan-1 satellite. Okay, this is, now maybe this isn't real, maybe this is faked. I'm telling you that right now, but it could be exactly real. So that's the thing we need to find out. I want you to look at this here and see what this is. Not the wolf. Okay, there you go. This is the object that was supposedly picked up by this satellite. This huge rock, and then here's these two objects. Remember, we saw these two objects in the image. And look how they're crossing in front and behind of this. Okay? What is this? That is the question. What is that? Are these two objects guiding this? Are they somehow controlling what's going on? Is this object itself, if you look right here, let me go back to this. If you look right here, doesn't this look like a cube? You can almost see the edges here. You could see. So perhaps this is a spaceship. We've seen the large cubes, right, up by the moon or the sun. You know, maybe this is a large cube. And if you remember the piece that I played last week of Jalailah Star talking about Nibiru and how they traveled in a large planet or asteroid that was their spaceship. Well, this kind of could fit into that if that's the case. But whatever it is, there's two objects out there seem to be guiding this along. So, are they guiding this away from us? Are they guiding this towards us? That is the question. Alright? Now, we're adding pieces to the puzzle. So I've shown you piece number 1, which was the earlier photo, and then I showed you piece number 2, which was the more recent photo, if it's real. Now I'm going to show you piece number 3. This occurred just the other day, didn't make big news, but this is piece number 3. Largest rocket ever launched from Vandenberg Air Force Base makes a liftoff. The largest rocket ever to be launched from Vandenberg had a successful liftoff Wednesday. The Delta IV heavy rocket was launched with $1 billion spy satellite for the National Reconnaissance Office in support of national defense, according to aerospace engineering firm United Launch Alliance. Once in orbit, the classified payload is expected to be able to distinguish details back on Earth as minute and make a model of an automobile, according to the EULA spokesperson. EULA officials alerted the public about the launch through its Facebook and Twitter pages, so they wouldn't be concerned when they felt the windows rattle and felt the vibrations. Okay? Says this is the largest rocket ever to be launched. So, what is this rocket? Is this just a regular rocket? Is it really a spy satellite that they're putting up there? Just hold on a second. Remember, we're putting together a puzzle here. Here's the next piece. Okay, now remember, we've got September 1st is the time when the all of these resignations are taking place. Janet Napolitano, Bernanke, the info the Pope has put out takes place then. October 1st is the time when we're told that this object is going to be passing by Mars. Remember also we had that cryptic message from Janet Napolitano before she left saying that there was an unprecedented natural disaster heading this way. Well, here's the next piece of the puzzle. It says Air Force to shut down space surveillance system. Due to resource constraints caused by sequestration, Air Force Space Command officials have directed the 21st Space Wing to prepare to discontinue operations at the Air Force Space Surveillance System by October 1st. Final decisions of all fiscal 2014 budget issues will be made over the next few weeks. By discontinuing operations, the AFSSS would not be maintained in operational status. However, equipment will not be removed until the final disposition determination is made. The AFSSS sites are operated under contract, and the 21st SW has notified the vendor, Five Rivers Services in Colorado Springs, Colorado, that it most likely will not exercise the next contract option beginning October 1st. By deactivating the AFSS by October 1st, would see a cost savings of approximately $14 million per year beginning the fiscal year. So, tell me if this makes sense. They're going to shut this down so they could save $14 million, but they're sending up a $1 billion rocket. Now, I don't know about your math, but according to my math, $1 billion is a bigger number than 14 million. So it seems rather silly that we're sending up something that cost $1 billion, and here we have a program that's saying it's going to save millions. Something doesn't make sense here. And so they've shot something up. We got an object coming in. They're shutting off the surveillance. They have this. Maybe it is another satellite that's they're only going to be able to see. I don't know. I don't know the answer. These are just pieces to the puzzle. All right? So we will all find out sooner or later. All right? Now, here's the angel message for today. And it is, please do not allow insecurities to hold you back. You are magical, and we will help you. Please do not allow insecurities to hold you back. You are magical, and we will help you. Very good. And let's go over here. Let's listen to this message. This is the Galactic Federation of Light, Archangel Metatron, August 29th through September 10th. Let's listen to what is said here.
This message is from Archangel Metatron,
channeled by Cindy McGonigal, August 29th to September 10th, 2013.
Archangel Metatron.
Brothers and sisters of the light, fear not the unrest happening around you. Instead, spend time in meditation, calling in the angels of peace and harmony to keep you clear of the fear and confusion in your world now. Free your thoughts that make your heart close, and focus on the beauty and freedom you do have in your lives, if only in your thoughts. As powerful souls who can collectively bring peace to the chaos, the time is now to make sure your surroundings where you live and sleep are comforting to you. Music of nature's sounds like birds singing, ocean waves, or whatever soothes your soul. Listen to these sounds. Taking a shower or a bath, swimming, or even wading in a pool of water along a stream can refresh and invigorate your spirit. Laughter is another joyous gift to share with others. Call in the angels of joy and fun and laughter and let your heart sing for a moment. Touching a leaf, such a simple act can also calm the busyness of your mind. Close your eyes and touch the petals of a flower and relax. These experiences will help keep you calm during these unsettling times ahead. Eat from your gardens, share food with your neighbors that you have grown with love as you planted each plant. We archangels are always here to help. Just call us into your daily life and in a second we will be next to you. You deserve to receive all that you need, but first you must ask for help and then accept the help that shows up. It may not always come in the form you first hoped for, but know it always comes in the form you need. In light and love. Archangel Metatron. Channeled by Cindy McGonigal.
Alright. So, very good. Very, very good. And that brings us finally to our meditation for today. So, let's focus on a few things here. Look, there's problems in the world, we could see them. But it's par for the course. And I don't want to say it's a good thing that these are happening, because it's not. It's not good when people get hurt in wars and battles and violence. But as far as timing goes, we could see this, things are escalating, things are ramping up. This means that we're at a point in time where those who are here to make the big assistance and really help, now is the time. Now is the time to really get involved. The leaders of this country, the leaders around the world, they're not really playing out to be the friends of the people around the world. They want to fight these wars and all this. So we can't really rely upon them to stop things. But I know that there's more of us than there are of them. And I know how powerful the mind is. So if we put our minds together to create peaceful situations, we can calm situations, we can heal situations. So that's what we need to do. So we're going to focus during this meditation on some of these things, taking into our own hands control of what's taking place, not relying on anyone else. So, take a deep breath and exhale. Take another deep breath and exhale again. I want you to imagine, first of all, that all of your chakras are activated, so you're fully powered and energized, starting with the chakra at the bottom of the spine. Imagine the earth energy drawing up into that chakra. The chakra is red. And then the energy goes up to the chakra above it, just at the belly button, and the color is orange. And from there, the energy continues to go up to the chakra just below the rib cage in the solar plexus area. The color is yellow. From there up into the heart chakra, the color is green. Up into the throat, imagine the color blue. To the third eye, the color indigo, and finally to the crown chakra, the color violet. And then the light continues on up into the cosmos, connecting deep, deep in space. And there you are, connected to all of the energy of the cosmos, of the earth, connected to all that is, was, and ever shall be. From this place of empowerment, I want you to imagine all of this energy flowing through your body now, this multicolored energy. Imagine it overflowing. Feel it overflowing. See that line of light expand from your body outward in all directions. And just expand it out into the place where you live, into your neighborhood, to your city, state. Just imagine that energy continuing to expand. And imagine that there are others around the world right now doing exactly the same thing. Now, in this place of expanding this energy, I want you to imagine all of the problems in the world and the places where there are war. And we're going to send love to those areas to heal the problems that are going on. We're going to send love right now to all of the soldiers involved in the war on all sides, so that they realize that they don't have to fight and kill each other. We're going to send love right now to all of those who are creating the problems, the leaders who are involved with these warlike situations. We send them love, that cooler heads and wisdom may prevail, or else they may just walk away because they don't know how to handle the love, and it confuses them enough that they walk away from what they are doing. Either way, whether they change their minds or walk away, it matters not. And we just keep sending love to all of the places where there is corruption around the planet. And as we do, and we send this love and the light, we see all of those involved, those thieves, the thugs, those causing the problems. We see them rushing out of the locations where they are causing problems. Some of them change, and some of them are so corrupt that they are unable to change. They just simply disappear. And we look at all the religious institutions around the world, and we see the suppression that they have put. So we send love to all of these institutions, that the lies end and the truth presents itself. And as we continue to send to all the troubled places around the world, and all the troublemakers around the world, as we continue to send love and cleansing, the planet itself smiles, because we are actively participating in process of change. The space brothers and sisters looking down from above upon us, they smile, knowing that we are taking responsibility for our own planet. And they know that because of that, change will come. So we just keep imagining from our heart chakra, sending out love. And love, my friends, is the greatest source. And to those who are open to accepting love into their heart, they will receive that love, and it will transform them. To others who are so corrupt in their ways will accept that love into their hearts, and they will not be able to deal with it, and it will confuse them. And some it will absolutely destroy. But since there is no death, life continues on. Their energy will simply recycle. So we just send this love and light into the world, that darkness dissipates, that love and light shines bright, and that our planet evolves in the way it is destined to evolve. Not into a warlike place, but into the place of peace, for that is our destiny. So let's imagine now the word peace, and let's just see that word peace as a word written across the globe. And let's just imagine this place filled with so much peace that anything other than peace is completely removed because it does not fit. Let's hold this image of peace in our heart as we go forth this weekend. And let's take it with us where we go and share that peace with others, that they be inspired to share it as well. So let the subconscious mind continue on that journey. And let the conscious mind also be on that journey. But let us bring ourselves back to the present moment on the count of 3. 3, coming back to the present moment filled with confidence. 2, coming back to the present moment filled with faith. And 1, coming back to the present moment happy, healthy, and whole. Happy, healthy, and whole. Take another deep breath. Exhale. And go ahead and open your eyes. That's it, my friends. That is our show for the week. Thank you very much for being here. Let's just keep thinking good thoughts, peaceful thoughts. Let's hope that calm heads prevail over the course of this weekend. I know there's a lot of rumors out there, and there's challenges that are going on in the world. We don't want to get caught in all the drama. We want to just keep sending love. Keep sending love. Keep sending love. That's what we can do to change things, so let's just do it. I'll be back Monday with more news and information. I love you. Have an awesome weekend, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace. I'm out of here.